Okay, welcome. It's Christina Merkley. This is the process pop-up. I believe this is our 7th or 8th one. Been starting them since the pandemic as it's been unfolding, and it's just emerging step by step here. So we'll see who we are today. Welcome if you're new, and welcome if you've been attending regularly. We have a small group here today. It's an emergent process, so I've been kind of just calibrating as we go which process to do and just kind of meeting the group where it's at, and also just using my own instincts. I'm just going to share a screen. The screen I'm sharing here is the process pop-up page. It's on my website, www.shiftedcoach.com/community support. Just want to bring your attention that there's visual tools on that site, on that page, and a whole swag of tools. I have many, many more tools, but these are the ones I selected out that I thought would be most helpful for what the majority of people might be encountering with what's going on in the world. And there's 3 different sections. One is visioning, one is action planning, and one is inner work. And as we've been gathering over these weeks, I have been slowly but surely making my way through these tools and basically talking about them or demoing them and making it clear how to use them. So ideally, we have a recording around each of the tools that helps people understand what they are and how to use them, and give some examples. Also, in addition to this, the process pop-up, I've been doing free sessions one-to-one with people. There's a click-through link here on that community support page, and as you click through, it takes you to a page explaining the individual sessions. Both these pages, if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, you'll find the video recordings of previous process pop-up groups, which we're in right now, and these individual sessions. We've got about 15 of them now. So you'll see these recordings and their accompanying maps as they're being created there. And that's another place that you can go to find examples of the tools and how to apply them to yourself, and also parallel processing, because depending on what the person is working in that session, it may be similar to something that's going on for you or somebody close to you. Now, my spidey senses, there's only a few of these tools that I have not covered yet. There's one down in inner work, which is called the focus wheel map. And I haven't done the action planning in the process group yet, although I have done some action plans with individuals over on that page. And the focus wheel is a handy one for if there is something in particular that you're wanting to bring about or make yourself more acquainted or familiar with. It's a great tool for doing that. So I've kind of got that in the back of my mind for what we may do process-wise today, but I want to just kind of calibrate off of who's here and what's up for you before I commit to doing that particular map, because it may be more helpful to go somewhere else. One other thing, which is on the other sessions, we've been oftentimes checking in and using what's called the emotional scale to check in. So I'm just going to bring that up. Some of you are familiar with this, some of you maybe not. Different ways to cut the cards. This source comes from the Abraham Hicks material, and it's a whole range of emotions. I've kind of got them in color gradients just to be able to see the differences, because as you move up or down the vibrational scale, the tone, the frequency, the emotion, the mood of them changes. And this can be helpful, and that's why I've been bringing it up. It can be helpful to help you figure out if it's not very apparent. Some people are better at emotional management and emotional intelligence than others about what you're actually feeling, and then therefore which way is up. Also helpful to know which way is down too, because these things can happen in spirals, as you're probably well aware, right? You can spiral up and you can spiral down. So when you become more familiar with these different gradients of emotions, it can be helpful to know where you're at, where other people around you are at, and which way are you moving, up or down. Obviously, moving up is not such a bad thing, but the moving down can be challenging. And it helps to understand that's what you're doing. So ideally, you can do some process work with yourself and kind of stabilize that. And it's not about making yourself be different than you are per se. There's going to be totally appropriate times where you want to be where you are, and you don't want to be knocking and moving yourself out of it, right? So and there's actually processes where I do exactly that with people. It's a challenging one to do that with a group of people here, but definitely when I work with individuals, I can do an inquiry process with that person, really meeting them where they're at. And you'll see, if you have been watching some of those individual sessions, you'll see where a person's particularly triggered, upset, whatever it might be. It is not going to make sense to move right into a cognitive kind of exercise or exercise that's trying to move them out of that. I just want to be where they are and witness that. So the tool of choice will be an inquiry process of really just meeting that and welcoming it. Okay, so with that, let's just kind of find out what's up today and where you fall on the emotional scale today. And then if there's anything that you'd like to check in with in terms of what's up for you, it'll give me a sense of what's most relevant in the group and be able to, we have a smaller group, so that allows us the time to maybe actually do some work with an individual or maybe even several of you today, right? And be able to do multiple maps or multiple moves depending on what you're bringing to the table. So whoever would like to go first, where are you on the emotional scale, and anything that you're kind of bringing to the process group that you'd like some assistance on?
I can check in first. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Thanks.
I don't have my headphones in today, so.
Yeah.
I'd say I'm Jude, and I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I'd say on the emotional scale, I'm kind of between hopefulness and optimism. I'm a professor, business professor, and we're at the tail end of final exam week. So I'll be doing my final grading early next week, and kind of putting to rest this last semester. Then I have one more class to teach before I retire. So I've kind of got one foot in, I still got to do my job, and the other foot in, I can't wait for the next chapter of my life. And I think yesterday we had I teach in a business school, and we had a faculty meeting, our last one, that I'll be a part of using Microsoft Teams. And I just throughout the meeting was feeling very grateful that I decided to retire because the lack of vision, the lack of, a lack of sense of where this pandemic is taking us and what it's doing to higher education. It's like the plan is just to keep doing the same old things that we've always been doing. And I think that's a huge mistake. So it just kind of reinforces my decision to retire. So if I didn't have that in the future, I'd probably be lower on the emotional scale because I'd be frustrated and whatever. So, but I'm feeling very hopeful about my own future and the work I can do in the world, and that I'm in good health and young and can, I feel very optimistic.
Wonderful, Jude. Thank you. I'm going to go next, Cynthia. Should we unmute you? There you go.
Yeah. So I'm Cynthia from Colorado, and so I'm definitely in that overwhelm space. There's a lot of positives happening, but there's a lot of negatives happening. And so I feel like, you see those pictures of pug puppies, and, it's adorable, but their eyes are going two different ways. That's what I feel like right now. Like I'm just standing there getting my picture taken, and I look like that pug puppy. Um, so, so that's where I'm at. I don't know if you want more detail or
Whatever you care to share. Yeah. And if there's anything, you're a certified visual coach, so you have a sense of the tools that are at your disposal, and there's more since you've been through that program. So anything about why you came and if there's something we can assist with.
Sure. Well, I think the reason I came is really to get grounded, to do something that I enjoy. And I love checking in and doing some of the groups that some of the pop-ups you do that are a little bit different than this. And I haven't had a chance to join until now, just work-wise. I'm not sure. I'm excited actually to delve back in, kind of see what's new, because I've just been working so much, and my job is actually shifting. I went back to behavioral health as a supervisor, and right as I did that, the pandemic happened, and so here I'm meeting new people. I'm supervising them over the internet, and so just relationship building in that way has been interesting. So I haven't been doing a lot of coaching with my clients because what's shifted with the pandemic. I'm also a therapist. So what I've been doing with my clients is just helping them be grounded. And I was doing a lot of grounding myself, just making sure I was okay. And then my daughter became ill and had to have open heart surgery. And that just blew everything out of the water. It's just all the self-care and the grounding and everything that I was doing to stay present just kind of got shot up. And so I don't even know, this is part of it.
Yeah.
my focus drifted. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm talking about now. But here I am just trying to be grounded. And I can't even think of, I literally can't pull from my mind what tool would help me to.
Yeah, what would meet you is the inquiry process. So, and that's a little bit different from some of the work, me from previously in the program you were in. So I got a little note that that's one way we can go, which might be helpful for others as well. We'll be working just with you, but depending on where you go, it's usually archetypal places that are useful for all of us. So we'll see. I got that in the back of my head. So, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Carrie Lynn, welcome. Your first time dropping in. Anything you want to say and introduce yourself and where on the scale you are?
Thank you. I'm excited to be here, and I work in a community health center as a manager, and I also teach an evening college course, so have experienced the transition to online learning, Jude, that you were talking about. And unlike you, it was my first time teaching at a college level. And I also do some coaching, leadership coaching on the side. So I've really enjoyed following your information online and just your tools. I think for me, it would be a mix of optimism and hopefulness about some things. And then I would also say that there's a little bit of frustration or overwhelmed as well. I think in this changing world, as we just learned today in Ontario, they're going to reduce some restrictions, open things up. So that creates a whole different level of planning. We have 25 agencies that are on site in our building that I also manage, and they're not on site right now. So as soon as they start to get the sense of a green light, it builds that side. And I'm also at a stage with a job transition where the timeline keeps being pushed out. It's a bit of a fork in the road, and the fork keeps being pushed out. So I think that's the impatience or frustration side of it there.
Okay, very good. Any pieces of that you'd be interested in working?
Potentially that frustration and patience piece about timing with job change, but you know, there's some bigger forces there. It's just a matter of reshifting perspective. But for me, it's also a whole timeline that I don't have control or really influence over. So it's just been me processing, accepting that things are shifting again because we're in a pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, I think you might be inquiry too, so I'll put that down. Okay, thank you. Welcome. Let's get Catherine in here, who's in the waiting room. Welcome in, Catherine. We just finished some check-ins here, and not to put you on the spot, but let's get you checked in quickly if we can.
So
Hi.
sorry I'm late. Nice to see you again, Christine.
Nice to see you. So I have up on the screen what's called the emotional scale. So it's just a way of kind of registering where you're at. It's okay to be at multiple places if you're there. Several who've checked in already have been kind of calibrating at different places. So anything that you'd share where you're at today, and you're coming to a process pop-up, so that's maybe a new experience, but if there's anything in particular you were looking for support on.
Well, I've seen some of your recordings, so I'm a little bit familiar, and sorry, I'm just coming from my daily long bike ride to kind of unsquare my head after so much screen work. On your emotional scale, I'd say I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty hopeful. I've found a certain kind of stride and rhythm in my days that looks after the kind of sludge that we get into around 4 o'clock after all of our online work. And I teach dance, so I'm figuring out how to do that in my loft with cameras and things. So yeah, I'm pretty happy right now.
Awesome. Great. Wonderful to have you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Pat, anything you want to say? Do you want to check in? Where are you on the scale?
I'm sort of distracted with my mom's situation right now, but I'm staying between. I'm having to read it here. It's weird to say, but contentment and hopefulness as far as that goes. But then I get distracted and the COVID thing disappears. So my mother is elderly and she's on hospice right now. So things are not going real well for her. And so it's just one of those things that just kind of hoping for her pain to go away soon. But it feels weird to say that I'm content and hopeful, but I am. I pretty much in there, and then I'll bounce a little bit with, maybe some maybe doubt and worry, but I usually am up in the other range. So anyway,
it's nice that you can come. Not only do you do support us, but you get some parallel processing done.
It is. It really is. It's it couldn't have come at a better time.
Okay. I've just let Janelle in here. Welcome, Janelle. We're just doing some quick check-ins, so sorry to put you on the spot so fast. You're a new name. So if you flash up your screen, and then we'll get you checked in. me try it again. I think your system's just calibrating. Janelle, I'd ask you to unmute yourself, and if you could turn on your video. Perfect, thank you. Sorry to put you on the spot so quick, just getting in here, but we've just completed check-in. So if there's anything you'd like to say to check in, I think it's your first time, welcome dropping in, and hopefully you have a sense of what the process pop-up is about.
Yeah, just my apologies for being late.
No problem, yeah. We've got the emotional scale in front of us, so we use that to kind of calibrate where we are on the scale. I'll give you a moment to say it, and then if there's anything that in particular you're coming for support on, let me know. We're just in the process of sorting out the agenda. And welcome, Joanna. We're just getting check-ins done. So I'm going to put you and Janelle right on the spot here as you're joining us a bit late. And so where are you on the emotional scale, and anything that you're bringing for processing, let me know, and I'll add it to the list of what we're generating.
In this moment, somewhere in the middle, but more towards the joy end of things.
Nice. And you're coming for a process pop-up. So is there anything in particular you were wanting to focus on, or your intention in being here?
Yeah, I don't know if this is appropriate to exactly what it's, yeah, I'm just trying to process, figure out life purpose things right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thanks. Joanna, anything you want to say? Where are you on the scale? Anything that's up for you process-wise? And then we'll go to you, Lee.
Well, I kind of jumped in here late, so I'm not quite sure where you are. If you're just asking where I'm at in this whole thing, which maybe not, is I don't know what the hell to do.
Mm-hmm.
I can give up, I can pivot, go a different direction, or I can dig my heels in and figure it out and make it work.
Yep. That's good summation. Good. Okay, hon, thanks. Yuli, let me get you checked in quick. Anything you want to share emotional scale-wise, and anything you're bringing to the table process-wise? Let's see if we can get you unmuted. Hold on. There, good.
Hey, thank you. I'm just so grateful to be in community always. I'm hopeful. A little frustrated, kind of blue-green.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I think I got enough. I think I know where we're gonna go, right? It's always emergent, so I got to kind of calibrate whether I'm working with an individual or working with a group, and then I get okay, this is what we're gonna do. So I think when I know what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna work individually with a couple of people, and I'm gonna do an inquiry process. And for parallel processing, this is gonna be interesting because each person is at a very different place, and this process helps you meet where you're at. So while I work with one person, you're all sophisticated individuals, so you'll be able to split your consciousness. One part of your consciousness will be able to track what I'm doing with that person. Perhaps the other side of your consciousness can be calibrating with yourself and replicating the process, but to your own uniqueness, right? So you might be in a very different place than who I'm working with. And we'll just see how this goes. I'll work with that one person. We'll complete with them. I'll open it up for any kind of comments, responses, and potentially in those comments and responses can be, were you able to parallel process along, or what happened for you? So working with one person may or may not assist the rest of you, right? So we'll just see as we go along how this works for you. I think I will probably work with another one. That's what I'm hearing so far in the check-ins from Cynthia and from Carrie Lynn. Both the things that you presented were ones that you could just go in and kind of meet it. And that's why I'm choosing the inquiry process. Same for all of you, no matter where you are at in the emotional scale. But again, it can be a little tricky to do your own inquiry process. So we'll see. Some of you may end up satisfied, and others it might be challenging. Remember that you can do the one-to-one. There are free one-to-one sessions with me as well. So if I'm not able to get to you and you're in a dissatisfied place, you can always sign up for one of those one-to-one sessions, and I can do an inquiry process with you to get you to a better feeling place. Okay, let's get my new sheet of paper up here. Okay, Cynthia, I'm going to start with you. And you'll see soon enough how this goes. And you don't have to do anything but be what you authentically are and welcome it and see what unfolds from there. Just going to change my view here. Okay, so let's get you unmuted. Yep, you're ready to go. Now, when I first asked you to check in, overwhelm was a word that kind of caught me, right? So I'm kind of using that as a starting place. And it may or may not be that right in this moment. But what I'm going to invite you to do, if there's still a whiff of overwhelm, kind of focus in on that. Okay, and focus in on your, whatever's up for you in the moment. And when I say up, it might be a thought, it might be a body sensation, an emotion, anything. So let's all, everybody take a couple of deep breaths. Cynthia in particular. And see what's there. I can't hear you. Let's get you unmuted.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, great. So what I had said is it's definitely a body sensation, and it's happening right here in my face. Sort of the thing that I think people can relate to is the deer in the headlights feeling, and it feels like the headlights are on high beam.
Okay, so right here in your face, when you say right here in your face, what do you mean?
So just this feeling of overwhelm where it's almost like in the back of my mind, I know all the things I need to do and I'm doing them, but what it feels like I look like, if I looked like what I felt, I would just have these big saucer eyes, and I would be staring literally at high beam headlights coming towards me.
Okay. So let's go in and, well, you're going to go in and just meet that sense of high beams just staring at you. And the magic sentence is, high beams, you are welcome here.
Okay.
So just meeting that sense, that overwhelm, that feeling in your face, that deer in the headlights, high beams. It's like, it's okay. Thank you. You're welcome here.
Yeah. Just even in that sentence, I felt relief.
Yeah, so it shifts, and everybody, if you're parallel processing, you can watch what's going on with Cynthia, but then you can also do the same thing for you. Just meet yourself. Where are you at? You might be in a high place, a medium place, a low place from that emotional scale we had up there before. Whatever it is, just say to it, give it a little bow to it and say, you're welcome here. Joanna, you had everything going on in there. Welcome to that complexity, you know. Complexity divergent thinking and feeling, you are welcome here. You're not trying to solve it, not trying to make it better. You're actually welcoming it.
Mhm.
And as you do it, usually something happens. So let me go back to you, Cynthia. So what do you notice as you give that? You were saying, oh, I just kind of felt a sense of relief there. So how did the relief show up?
Well, it landed square on my shoulders, and so
Okay, great.
I felt that. So there's, it moved.
Yeah, so now we meet the shoulders. So tell me what, it went onto your square on the shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
So then the same thing, hey, square on the shoulders. Bow to it. We're not fighting or resisting or hating or pushing away. We're actually receiving. So receive those shoulders, that feeling square on the shoulders, and say, you're welcome here.
And you just said a word that hit it right on the nose, resisting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So resist the thought, resisting, I'm resisting came up. So we welcome that. Hey, the thought, hey, I'm resisting, welcome. So just breathing into that, bowing to that, hey, I'm resisting, whatever that might bring up. That square on the shoulders doesn't have to shift or move right away. Already some of them have. We're not doing this to shift it. We're doing it to whatever genuinely and authentically happens for you. So as you bring your attention to your shoulders
Mm-hmm.
and to that resisting, notice what happens.
I just started thinking about my massage therapist.
Okay. Pat, is my screen showing, or anybody else? You guys are seeing my notes as I'm doing them, are you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so you went to your, okay, well that makes sense. The shoulders are like, hey, I could use a massage, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you went to that kind of massage therapy. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And we did schedule a couple of sessions. So I guess my mind went to, when is that next session?
Okay,
So
good. Yeah. So bow to that mind. We're going to bring in mind too, because the mind's starting to show up, right? This is kind of our left and right brain here, and the mind is showing up, and the mind's saying, oh, it was resisting. Now the mind's going, hey, when's my massage appointment?
Mm-hmm.
So bow to that mind, that busy little mind, thank it.
Mm-hmm.
All of us thank it. Usually our minds get in here and go nutso. And just see what happens.
So what just happened is I'm recognizing that I'm trying, or the idea of I have to be present for everybody. And so that's where the overwhelm is.
Okay, very good. So you're a mom, you're a helping professional, your daughter's been through a very serious surgery, and you've kind of been probably holding it together for everybody, huh? So help me with the language again. The realization was I
have to be present for everybody.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you feel that? Is that a thought or?
I kind of feel that in my shoulders as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next thought that I had is when I took my new position, I already had and that's another thing that's happening. My memory is just, I can't pull out the words. I already had a vacation planned for next week. So in my new contract, I said, hey, I'm going to be off this week. And because everything has been so scattered and I haven't felt like I'm 100% myself, I said, oh no, I'm not going to take that vacation because I have work to do. People are, depending on me. So my thought is I should probably take that vacation.
Okay. Okay, good. So let's slow down a bit.
That.
So we're going to, first off, they'll have to be present for everybody. Just welcome that. Recognize it. Thank you, mind. The mind's going to that have to be present. And then what pops out there is should take that vacation. Good. And as you meet, I should take that vacation. Notice what happens. Now what arises?
So there's a feeling here in my jaw, which is an interest, it's interesting because I don't often feel this feeling. So it's very odd. So it's almost like in my jaw into my neck, like why do I feel like I shouldn't take that vacation? What's happened? And I don't know what this feeling is.
Yeah. So there's something going on here, and we notice what pops up. And if you're is that a tightness or a tension, or did you bite down?
No, it's, it would be easier for me if it was a tightness, because that I could say, oh, I felt tense or whatever, but it's all of a sudden, it's just like a tingling.
Okay.
It's very odd. I have not felt this sensation.
So all we do is meet it. So we go, well, hello, odd tingling sensation in the jaw. Go in there, meet it, say welcome. And just see what happens.
It's almost like it's telling me. It's almost like this space is telling me that's relaxation, and you're resisting that.
Okay, bow to that. That was goosebumps. Good. So it's like, what is this odd sensation? That's called relaxation. Your jaw just relaxed.
Yeah.
And there was a second part of that, which was, it was telling you what?
It was telling me that I'm resisting that, and maybe that's where the shaky or the funky feeling was.
Okay, great. Shaky, funky. So just bow to that. Bow to that odd sensation, and out pops, hey, this isn't an odd sensation, this is relaxation. And then bow to the mind, recognizing, hey, what do you know? I'm also resisting relaxation. Thank it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for that recognition. And just see what happens. If anything else unfolds.
But my first feeling is I want to laugh, because how many people have I worked with around that for the last month?
So a little bit of judgment, maybe.
It almost feels humorous.
Irony.
Like, yeah. There you go.
Okay. So that's funny. So many I work with have that too. And just bow to that recognition. And just see what happens as you meet it and acknowledge it and make the connection. That's kind of ironic or funny in an ironic kind of way. And then see what happens.
Yeah, so the serious vibe just flipped over me, or washed over me, I should say. And this idea of how many people have I told, like, why wouldn't you take the time that you already have? Like, what's wrong with you? So even though I'm chuckling about it, it just felt very like this wave of serious inquiry. It kind of goes to your page name. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you take the time you have? And I think it was something like, was it crazy? Are you?
It's a good word, but that's not the word that came to mind. It's just like, why wouldn't you? What are you doing?
That's it. So thank that. Thank that recognition that this is kind of your own words coming back to you, why wouldn't you take the time you have? What are you doing? Bow to that. And there's a seriousness here, right? We flipped from the funny into a serious tone, and this mirroring back to you. Why wouldn't you take the time? What are you doing? And thank that. Thank you. What are you doing?
Yeah. There's just sort of a big, I feel the space there of, I'm not sure what I'm doing. I'm not sure why I'm doing that.
Okay, good. And go with that. And say, I'm not sure what I'm doing. You are welcome here. We're not making it wrong. We're not fighting it. We're not lashing at it. We're welcoming it. And see what happens as you meet. I'm not sure what I'm doing here.
Yeah. It almost feels to me like the overwhelm just kind of stopped. And that idea of, it's okay to be in this blank space. Like, it's all right. You're in this space. And you don't have to pretend like you're not.
Beautiful. So meet that recognition of, it's okay to be in a blank space, and I don't need to pretend that I'm not. Bow to that wisdom and thank it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So my mind just kicked into activation in terms of what I have to do to now go ahead and be off next week.
Great.
Because I probably do need that space. If I took that space, I could probably gather myself together and do, be able to be present for people in a better way, the way I like to be.
Right, right. Okay, so now you're kicking into action, and there's a little to-do list here, right? Some steps to take, because you're recognizing, no, on second thought, I need that time. Okay, so being with that recognition of, I do need that space and time. How can I go about getting it off? And see if the mind has an answer.
Yeah, right away, I've already had the conversation with my boss. And it's interesting because I just shifted into working for myself. So I wouldn't have had to ask anybody but me to now, navigating this. But the current bosses that I have now, they outreached me, they pulled me back into the agency because we do work well together. And so we've had very, candid conversations about this, and it wouldn't take much. My direct supervisor even told me, you can still, we're all still at home. You can still take time off, and we know that you're available if needed, but you should probably take the time because it was already there. And what's coming forward for me is not guilt. Well, I guess guilt. Yeah, I'm going to just say guilt of
okay.
Being
Let's go to the guilt. We're going to go to the guilt. Okay. We're going to meet all of this. So we're meeting the candid conversation, and they're already saying take the time. So there's no problem here. If you want to take the time, they're going to give you the time. But then what emerges is guilt. So meet the guilt. Say, guilt, you're welcome here. Just take a moment to be with the guilt.
Okay. Yeah, so part of that guilt, and it's nothing to be guilty about really, is what my mind's telling me. And what my boss told me you know, having to take the emergent time off for my daughter. Of course, that was going to happen. There was no question about that. But I felt like, okay, I took that time. I'm a new employee here, so technically I don't even have that time. And so I should pull that out of my own vacation time. Sort of that idea of balancing and, you know, doing what I need to do.
Okay. So we're just going to go ahead and bow to that.
Mm-hmm.
To all those shoulds and all the, I need to be balanced and I need to take it out of my time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
To see what happens when you meet that.
Just the memory of the conversation where she said, you know, all of us are working from home. You've still been working from home, even through all of this and getting your work done. And so everybody has slowed down. So it's not like you have to balance anything. Like there's nothing to balance. But in my head.
Okay. So we're just going to recognize that out came, again, the recognition that the bosses said these very things, that, hey, everybody's working from home and we're all slowing down and we're still getting the work done. So there's nothing to balance here.
Mm-hmm.
No need to do this balancing stuff. There's no need to have the shoulds and the guilts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just meet that, welcome it,
Mm-hmm.
see what happens.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Again, the overwhelm is really calming down, and this is great because what I came here for was really to ground, and I really feel that right now happening.
Good.
And so just grounding into that, you know, my actual supervisor, the person I was talking with about this, a family member close to her also had a heart incident and she was out. She ended up calling me and saying, I can't believe that you had to do that alone, because I did that here, but I was able to have somebody with me. And she just really sort of, you know, came back to me. And I actually forgot that she did that until we're talking about it right now.
Mm-hmm. So take that in and bow to that recognition of, I can't believe you did this alone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And notice what happens.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be very easy for me to go back to her probably this evening or text her and say, you know, I'm going to go ahead and take that time. Although it's not going to be 100% because I have a few clients that, you know, I'll still see, but I'm here at home. But in terms of paperwork and busy work and training and all those other things, I'll go ahead and take time off from all of that, and I'll just see a couple of clients.
Okay. So as you meet that, the brain is rationalizing this out and figuring out its action plan. And as you say, yes, yes, welcome, welcome to all of that, now what happens?
Just sort of this idea of, okay, I just have to see what those times are to see my clients, and then the rest of the time I'm unavailable.
Okay. Now the mind's figuring out its timing and figuring out what slot's available, what's not. So that's a good mind thing that'll happen. Good. So meet that. Yes, yes. Welcome, welcome. Now what happens?
Just sort of a settling.
Okay, beautiful.
I feel a little hot, but I think I'm hard, you know, I think a lot of professionals do this. They're harder on themselves than anybody else.
So meet the settling and meet the heat and say, welcome here. You are welcome. And I think I'm going to leave you there with the sense of grounding and settling and that heat. And with the game plan, right? The game plan of clarity about asking for that time off and sorting out your availability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I no longer feel like I'm looking at that image at the very beginning, just, you know, that but big eyes, I don't feel like I'm doing that. So
what do you feel now?
My brain has calmed. And so, and I feel like I know what that heat is it takes so much energy just to do all of that.
Yeah.
To really calm that brain.
Might be that overheated brain too, eh? All the running around, everything you've done, and as you settle, you're aware of that heat and that overworking.
Yeah, maybe so. I still want to call the massage therapist, but
well, there's thanks the mind, because that's that you're building an action plan here, so that goes on your action plan. Yeah. So up here, right, you're still going to go call, that's another step.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because I have some things scheduled out, but I'm actually one of my offices, so I'm still in transition from my private practice to going back to behavioral health, and my private practice office is right next door to a new massage therapist. And so she needs the clientele and I need the massage. So that's where I'm at right now.
Perfect. So we've got nice, thank the brain, thank the mind, because we've got practicality. We've got left brain and right brain here. You've done a lot on the right brain, so now the left brain's going, okay, but we still need to go to that massage therapist. So good, you've got an action plan building. Number one, you're going to have the conversation with the boss and get that time off and sort out the details around availability. And number two, you're going to make that happen around that massage therapist. Good.
Definitely.
Let me just go to the mind. Let's bow to that mind, right? So thank you to the brain, to the mind, who's been tracking all the way along here, but has allowed all the somatic stuff to happen too. Mind, anything else you want on this to-do list, or is that good for you?
That's good.
Good.
I don't want to rile the mind up.
Yeah. We're thinking it. See, the mind's got a heart, so the heart just showed up in the mind there with getting you to the massage therapist and getting you some time off, right? This mind's had heart all along, and the heart has a mind. So, okay. So let's just bow to everything that happened here. Thank you. Just your inherent wisdom, right? This is just another way. There's lots of different ways we can get to what's right and best and settling for us. This is the one we took right now, was this inquiry approach.
Yeah, great. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, I'll come back and I'll do some coloring and some puttering and stuff like that, and I'll get that to you, the maps.
Okay,
awesome. Got it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's go to others. So as you're parallel processing along, this is inquiry process. You can see another couple of examples over on the one-to-one sessions I've been doing. But anything anybody wants to say or comment, A, on the work that you saw with Cynthia, B, if there's any parallel processing that you were able to do on your own. I'm probably going to move quickly and do the same thing with Carrie Lynn.
Yeah, I definitely noticed as you focused and said something about your shoulders, then I suddenly became aware of all the tension I was holding in my shoulders, and then the resistance that came up to feeling that, and sort of then letting go of the resistance. And also I was feeling like the room I'm in right now is very hot in the afternoon, and I wanted to open a window, but I didn't want to, interrupt or be away, and so just letting go of resisting the heat that I was feeling. And so very interesting process to just realize how similar things can come up.
Yeah, that's the sweetness of doing inquiry process in a group, because they can be such common archetypal things that we all can get benefit from them. So I was certainly finding my own somatic settle as I was going along with Cynthia, and it's nice to hear you did too, Janelle. Cool.
I really like the language that you're using, Christine. I really like the inviting in and saying yes and thank you. It's very good language, because I work a lot with people who resist and self-judge. So that's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, meeting everything as it is, and then see what happens when we do that. It's so different from the opposite of pushing away stuff, right? And that which we resist persists. That which we damn dams us back. So stop doing that. Stop doing the resisting, the damning, right? This is a different way to do it. And it's quite remarkable what happens when we actually meet something as opposed to try to push it away. Yeah, it becomes the entry place. Yeah. And back to polarities, we did polarity squares the last 2 sessions. In a way, we're playing with polarities here, just in a different way, right? And we don't get to the flip of the polarity by rejecting it. We actually get it by diving into its seemingly opposite. And then if we do that, it will naturally on its own go to the other flip of it. And this is unity consciousness, basically. We're playing with we're honoring both the polarities, both the different sides of things to get to the wholeness of it, because we have it all. Yeah. Okay. Any other comments, reactions, reports, stuff that's going on for you in your own process? Sometimes it's hard to parallel process as somebody else is, but especially if you've got different stuff going on.
This is Jude. I had a hard time trying to do the parallel processing. This is the first time I've seen this inquiry process, so I'm kind of fascinated just experiencing it. And my puppy was also fascinated, and she's been very squirrely, so I turned my video off a couple of times because of that. But the other thing is I also wanted to be a witness to what Cynthia was experiencing. And so this is the first time I've had that sense in a Zoom session, that it's like that I could be a witness and hold the space and the energy. Most of the time I don't care about being a witness. So that was an interesting thing that I was processing while it was happening too.
That's such a key thing to bring to processing when we do work in a group, and that role, right, of witness and container holder and adding energetic. So when we do it in a group, there's different ingredients happening. So, and River's part of it too. Cool. Okay, going once, going twice on comments. Let's see if I've still got Carrie Lynn here. I can't see you all on the screen right now. Yeah, okay, Carrie Lynn. So let's see how that landed for you, and then we'll segue into what's up for you.
It actually was a very similar parallel process, I would say, in terms of acknowledging what was there, or the feeling that was there, and welcoming it. And although for different reasons, I have vacation planned not next week, but the week after, and it's rescheduled from March, and I haven't had a week off in a very long time, well over a year. So it's, I think, just seeing that as an opportunity and welcoming that, and not, and the permission to not think of some of the other things as the world changes around us. It was very similar, very similar.
Interesting. Yeah. So we may have just taken care of your presenting stuff through that work.
2 for 1.
Yeah, 2 for 1. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very similar.
Okay, perfect. Well, I kind of trust that process. That frustration and patience has shifted. Yeah. And how perfect is that? Synchronicities are always amazing, aren't they? Yes. Like you guys in your vacations, and you're in similar professions. Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I got another trick up my sleeve. So I heard Joanna come in with a whole bunch of different stuff playing out. So Joanna, if you're up for it, I'd love to do an inquiry with you.
Okay, I'll give it a shot. I'm going to give you a warning. I had a margarita and a half, so I guess I'm open.
This will be interesting, huh? Okay. We'll see what happens. Processing.
Being honest, just being honest.
I appreciate it. Okay, so let's just let everything that was kind of going on through first showing up and whatever was presenting then, whatever happened as you witnessed the work going on with Cynthia, and then we'll just kind of make our way to the now, even 1.5 margs in. So at this point in time, just taking a moment to meet wherever the heck you are and whatever's coming up. There's no judgment. Anything that shows up is okay and welcome, right? So as you settle in and notice yourself, what rises up?
I think I could say frustration and confusion of I think I'm kind of focusing on the whole professional / purposeful thing. I've made a pivot a little bit in my career and invested in training and kind of gone into this graphic recording and consulting and invested in that, and then this whole pandemic and my mother staying here for 7 weeks and just left today. I mean, it's just like a readjustment. Okay, so what's important? Is it my career? Is it my family? Is it my mother? Is it my relationships? Yada, yada, yada. Okay, so we got a few things off the plate today, trying to refocus and on career and the frustration of investing and practicing and then realizing, okay, gathering is not a thing right now, and I can hope that this is going to regroup and we're going to go back to a semblance of relational gathering at some point, and I can pick up where I left off, or I can innovate and be creative and pivot and invest in more training and get my tablet out and get my software out and learn more and practice more and hope that I regain all my investment, and that parlays into income. Or I can just stop and go, okay, maybe life's not about this. I'm going to go get a job at the post office. I'm going to make food for my family and invest in relationship, and that's all there is to life. I mean, I think I'm putting like a whole lot of balls in a couple different baskets, and that's probably not wise. I need to like take a breath and decompress and
so all
not make it so serious, or not make it so black and white right now. But it's like, I think my mom left and we've been locked down and now we're opened up, and can I just go back to a structure and be purposeful and productive and make some money? And I don't know, I'm bouncing all over the place, not making any decisions.
So I'm just going to mark this here, bouncing all over, and that's what you're going to meet.
Yeah.
So just take a moment.
Okay.
And everything, all this mixed up swirl of stuff and all that pulling and all that tension here and there and which way is up and confusion, whatever, just take a moment to breathe into that and meet it. And however you find your way to do it, to actually bow to it, to say, you're welcome here. Maybe even thank you. There's a whole bunch of big love under there. All these different parts of you are trying to look after you. So thank them, even though it's confusing as heck. You got so many voices and so many balls in there. Thank them all. They're all just trying to be of service.
True.
Yeah, so as you do that, just notice what happened. Something happened because your true came out. So what happened before the true? Did a settling happen? How would you describe what happened as you met all that bouncing all over the place? and you actually recognize, you acknowledged its care for you.
Yeah, correct. Those are all true statements, and they're all there, and they're all bouncing around. But I think your words of, they're just, that's part of me, and I should accept that, and that's okay for now.
Okay, very good. So that's what emerged, was this is okay for now. There's also a should, so we'll go to the should too, but let me get them both down. So one was true. That's what emerged. And then what was the should? Let's poke into that should. What was the should? The part that didn't get soothed.
I'm not sure. I don't know if I remember.
Oh, well then if it's not quite there, don't make me dig it up. Let's just go with the true.
Do you have anything you need to share on the screen, Christina? Or
Thank you, Pat. Yeah, I forgot to screen share. Perfect. Yeah. This'll help, maybe. That's all your swirl, right? And I've got it in a cloud. And then what popped out of that was true.
I'm not sure. You're waiting on the answer. I'm not sure what you're waiting on.
I'll repeat it back again and we'll see. Yeah. So you had all that swirl of stuff happen, and then we met it. And when you met it, something happened. What was that something that happened when you met it? And you welcomed it, and you recognized its love and concern for you.
Well, it's just life. Evidently. Yeah,
Okay.
I think I have this expectation that I can beat all this stuff. I'm ahead of it.
Right.
But honestly, it's just life.
Excellent. So that's what pops out, is the thought, the recognition of, that's just life. So meet that, welcome that, basically do a little bow to what just popped out of you. That's just life. Give a little bow to that and see what happens as you meet that and you thank it and you welcome it. Then just see what happens.
Well, I think you don't get out of this life without trials, and it's how you meet them is what defines you or me. So this is an opportunity as how do I react in this situation, which is weird, but it's also, if it's just life, then we just keep having these ups and downs. So how do I want to respond?
Beautiful. So meet that. That's some real wisdom emerging out of you. So that's just life. There's ups and downs. So it becomes more not about controlling the ups and downs, but about how am I going to react to these ups and downs? So just bowing to that wisdom and brilliance that just came out of you. So just see as you meet it and bow to it and thank it, just see what unfolds from here. You're doing beautifully. Now what happens?
Well, I think it's an opportunity that I don't want to miss to go deeper in faith, also what I'm made of. Like, it's an opportunity to, what am I made of? Like, I can turn this into gold or dirt, or I don't know. I don't mean that in a monetary sense. I just mean,
no, that's beautiful. So here's what came.
Whatever.
So it's an opportunity to go deeper in my faith. Mm-hmm. So meet that beautiful wisdom that's coming out. Wow, this is an opportunity to go deeper in faith here. Mm-hmm. So So
I
welcome
think
that.
the anxiety and the angst and the confusion and frustration, all those things that get swirling around. So the roots that I would think that I'm made of, how deep do they go? And here's a perfect opportunity to test those that I've sort of been skirting around the edges. And now's a perfect opportunity to solidify that or test it. And then also with the situation that I never thought I would have with young adult children being at home, that I wouldn't get a second chance to share wisdom and experience that, hey, you're locked in, you can't go anywhere, so maybe I should have some conversations.
Sweet. So this is the second chance to be with my kids. They're locked in, they can't go anywhere. Oh, wait, before you move on, just bow to that, Joanna,
okay.
Bow to that before you move on. That's brilliant. So bow to it. So bow to this, what came out of you. This is an opportunity to go deeper in faith. Thank you, thank you. This is an opportunity to go into my roots. Thank you, to solidify and test. And this is a second chance to be with my kids. I never thought this would happen, to have conversations, to guide them, to just be with them.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing in that, like, just that abundance, that preciousness. It took a pandemic to be able to have that kind of time to be set up with your kids. Because of the ages of their life, that wouldn't happen under regular circumstances. Okay, bow to that. Bow to that and thank that. Thank you. Thank you, wisdom, pointing that out to me. Thank you for time. I'm a person of faith. You're reminding me that this is solidifying and this is a test. This is the perfect stuff to work with, being a person of faith. Beautiful. Whew.
Yeah, and it's also a time to, thinking that I'm a creative person, like, use it for relational things, not necessarily professional things right now, but it's hard to think of how to have those conversations, and so it's easier to just not. Yeah, that takes some effort.
So using my creativity, so instead of effort, it's like using your creativity. You're creative. It's saying this aspect of you, this wisdom that you're getting in touch with, it's saying, use my creativity for personal applications, i.e. figuring this stuff out about how to work with and approach the kids and the stuff in the home, the relationships.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So it's not just you've been coming into creativity, had it in a frame with my GRGF trainings and other things. You're like, I'm going to be this, right? I'm going to do this with my creativity. It's like, there's another way to use your creative nature. And it's with this particular thing that you've been presented. So bow to that wisdom that just brought out, you can use your creativity for these personal applications too, Whew.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you bow to that, as you welcome it, as you thank it, just see what unfolds from here.
Well, probably not what I wanted to touch on, but we're being transparent, and
we're trusting your wisdom. It hasn't failed you.
We're going to trust that, in that
where it goes. Yeah.
I've been pressing in for a couple years, maybe more than that, on just the career and the purpose and the gotta be purposeful and productive and make some money and those things. But it just seems like right now it's just my relationships they need care, and I'm good at relationships, but I put them all on the back burner to kind of like, okay, done with all my little coffee dates and all that. I'm going to get serious about a career. And then it just feels like that I need to put more effort back into relationships. I'm good with that. I mean,
Okay.
they need care.
Good. So bow to that. You're getting in touch with this wisdom within you that's guiding you about, it's not about purpose in the way that you've been thinking about it. It's great that pre-pandemic, you're all about the getting geared up for the career kind of purpose, but now it's saying, it's okay. Right now, this is about your relationships. That's your purpose right now. They need care.
Yeah.
Yeah. So bowing to that, meeting it, welcoming that. Deep wisdom, and just see what unfolds from here. Just beautiful nuggets have come out, golden nuggets all the way along. Now what emerges?
Wow. I'm just going to tell you, I logged onto this not thinking I wasn't going to participate. I'm going to listen. So I didn't expect to get here, but I'll be transparent with this that just came up is, okay, been struggling for a while with the whole, receiving love, giving love. That's a thing with me. I kind of go round and round with it. And, you have to give to get. And I've neglected relationships in seeking other things in the last couple of years and wondering why I don't have the bucket full to give away. Well, those take care and they're important, and I think nurturing those relationships would probably give back 100-fold. Wow, I'm just sorry. No, sorry. I'm just surprised that came up right now. So sort of been focusing on other things.
So bow to that it came up, and the recognition of the giving and the getting, and the recognition of the nurturing relationships gives back, 100%. Yeah. And bow and welcome the surprise. You're thinking, I'm coming here for a professional thing. Got to do the career pivot. It's like, whoa, yes. What do you know? What's happening here is it's pointing me in a much different direction. So yes. bow to that, welcome it, thank it, and just see what unfolds from there. Well done. You're doing awesome.
Well, Christina, I think maybe you've been a witness to this in maybe another group where the visual, I don't expect you to remember it, but the visual of me being a little butterfly, kissing all the little flowers, and I kind of go around and do that, and I sort of poo-poo that a lot, like, okay, that's not important enough. I need to go do this important thing, but that seems to be my nature. So it's okay to accept that nature of having my little relationship flowers that I go around and kiss all the time.
That's so sweet. That's so sweet. Aww.
That's cheesy tonight. Okay, so yeah.
So bow to it, even though you feel a little silly or a little cheesy. Bow to the silly and the cheesy, and bow to the kiss, 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 and the butterfly and the flowers. Yeah, and that being, your true nature, and how lovely that is.
Thank you.
And let's just see, as you bow to it, and you thank it, and you recognize that inherent nature. And you may also make it okay that there's, maybe the more left brain, linear, rational side of you that feels a little, embarrassed by that. You make that okay too. Don't make that wrong. Make that okay. It's welcome. It's okay. It's okay to have that other side that thinks your nature should be something different. And just see what unfolds from here.
Yeah, I think one spills over into the other. It's just that's been my nature from day one, is that my relationships have impacted any business I've ever done. And I think I've really let loose of that recently. It's just, yeah, wow.
So I just got goosebumps. So it's just a recognition of they're not separate. And so probably this recognition is like, it's okay. This will unfold. Working and doing and focusing on relationships, that actually is business development.
Yeah, I just kind of, oh yeah, I don't have time for that kind of thing.
Right. That's silly. That's stupid. No, actually, it's core to business.
Yeah.
So thank it for that wisdom. This is your consciousness playing back to you, your upper wisdom, and look at what it's doing. It's telling you, no, this is not silly. One spills over to another. So the personal, the relationship skills, those are business skills. And especially with your personal relationships and family, that's the foundation, that's core for being out there and doing business, to have that kind of foundation and love and commitment and connection around you. Good. So bow to that wisdom that one spills over to another. Thank it for reminding you. These go together.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
On that note, that's good stuff. Thank it. Appreciate it. Telling it, hey, this is good stuff you sent my way. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See if there's any parting words it wants to leave you with, or feelings, sensations, whatever the heck it is. What unfolds from here?
I think it's like the right word of it, sort of a release, a little bit of a release and a lightness of this pressure of trying to forge a path that not sure where I'm going, but the things that I know are relationships. So just do that for now.
Excellent.
Which is, kind of a freedom. It's easy. That's easy.
Yay. Doesn't have to be all drudgery and hard and confusing. You can actually go to this lightness and this release and be free.
Yeah. Thank you. I did not expect to speak this evening, but thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much for doing the work. Yeah, as each of us do our work, it impacts us and it impacts everybody on this group. And I believe it impacts all of humanity, frankly. We're all connected. So thank you for doing your inner work. Beautiful, Joanna. Just letting the goosebumps kind of roll over my back here. Wow, powerful. Okay, we never know what's going to happen. So that's what showed up today. So thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Joanna, for your process work. And thank you, everybody else who's holding container and witnessing and doing parallel processing. I'll give an opportunity for some checkouts. So anything you want to say to complete. Reminder that if you do have some stuff going on and you'd like some one-to-one time, there are free recorded sessions that are available. You can find that on my Shifted Coach site. There's 15 so far, so you might poke around those recordings and find something that I've done with somebody else which may fit what's going on with you. But I'd love to work with you if that's something you want to do. Alternatively, you can come to the process pop-ups. Seem to be happening once a week. They're different every time. It's just an emergent thing that's unfolding. And I just reach into my toolkit of process work, visual tools, whatever it might be, and do my best to meet what's emerging. So very fun to see what emerged today. Let's pass around the mic. Closing comments. I can take them in whatever order you want to do them. So just unmute and pop up.
I can go first.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. I really appreciated seeing this inquiry process for the first time, and it has, for me, helped to reinforce my decision to go through the visual practitioner training with you, Christina, starting in September.
Yep,
and
visual coach certification. Yep.
It also solidified my decision to move from being a business professor to helping women find the ways to build a sustainable, soulful business model. Mm-hmm. And so, Milano, it's like seeing you be able to build that connection, that your relational strength could also be the strength of your business. You know, that was very powerful for me too.
Oh, got goosebumps again. Yeah, important you're here, the cross-pollination going on. Perfect people show up at the perfect time. Thank you, Jude. Catherine, I think you were getting
I was just going to say thank you. You're very generous to do this. And I teach classes, 6, 7 of them a week, and they're just offerings as well. And I suddenly realized today that maybe we're entering a new world where we're just all generous and offering, and it's just, I just want to thank you for this.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
I do think we're entering a new world.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and speak.
Please, Pat.
I'm not one that likes to change. I don't deal with it very well. And these sessions, you know, really appreciate the people that come, all of you that come in and share. Always get something out of it. And with everything going on right now, with all of this stuff, and everybody's very stressed, and then my personal stuff, I just feel more grounded. I'm not happy, you know, with the situation with my mom being at the end of her life, but this is just really helpful. And when, you know, she mentioned something about the new world, it's like, that would have terrified me last year. I would have really been thinking, new, what's going to have to change, you know, but, you know, I just feel grounded and a little bit more relaxed this evening. Thank you.
Sweet. Thank you, Pat. Thanks for all your help in making this happen. Anybody else? Carrie Lynn, any final checkout statement?
Just the honesty and the lightness, I think, that came through this with both people. You can feel that shift in them, and there's aspects of both of those situations I'm sure all of us can find to identify with. And I certainly felt a shift for myself as Joanna was shifting, and really appreciate what you're offering, Christina. This is lovely.
Oh, good. Thank you for coming. Perfect. Glad you're getting some parallel shifts happening. Janelle, I'm going to swing back to you. Any closing thoughts?
Yeah, actually, very similar thoughts. Just a gratitude to Joanna and the previous woman that also shared. And in Joanna's sharing, I definitely had lots of parallel thoughts and resonated with much of what was said, and shifting as she shifted as well. And just a lot of gratitude to you, Christina, for offering this, and also the reminder of the importance of just letting go of resistance and just welcoming everything that shows up. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Yeah. Nice reminders. Yuli, anything you want to say?
I just want to share how grateful I am for you holding this space, Christina. And I always feel so lucky to connect with the people online here, and this phenomenal group of women. So thank you.
Right back at you. Thank you. And who have now heard from? Cynthia, I'm going to swing back to you. There might have been pieces of Joanna's work that may have landed for you too. So let's just check. Let me get you unmuted. There we go.
Yeah, so there was definitely some more processing as Joanna was talking, especially, I think there was something she said, this is life. And I was just like, yes, it's just life, and we're all doing the best that we can. And I just really appreciate people holding space, and I appreciate this process, so thank you.
Yeah, wonderful. Awesome to have you here. All the best to Heather as she recovers.
Thank you.
And Joanna left a note. Oh, you're still here. Yeah. Anyone to say verbally?
I just wanted to say thank you. I was just going to kind of pop on and watch what was happening, and so I just really thankful for you that you do hold the space and that you give your time and generosity to all of us, and week after week. So just thank you. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. And thank you for doing the work. I know you're like, they do feelings in there. I don't know if that'll be useful. So that's so cool that you came and you're willing to jump in, and you have very deep wisdom that got reflected back to you. So I look forward to seeing what continues to unfold for you and your family and for work and life. Yeah. Okay, everyone, thank you very much. You are on our confirmed list, so you will get notifications. Check your spam filters if you're not getting them. Gmail in particular likes to stick us in the promotions folder. No need to sign up again. Once you're a confirmed member, you're registered, so you'll get those notices. It's a drop-in, it's called a pop-up, so come when it works for you. You don't have to. It's there when it meets your schedule and meets your needs. They are recorded, so Pat will follow up and send the recording back to you as well. And those of you who I've worked with individually, I'll directly send you your maps, so you've got your maps. Okay, take good care, and we'll see where we are in a week from now. Be well, stay strong, or whatever the heck you are, meet that. Bye.